política. Nunca tome partido de nada com base em valores ou ideias. Não é disto que se trata em política. Vou repetir uma coisa assim: política se trata de poder. Poder significa a capacidade que um sujeito tem de determinar as ações dos outros, de fazer os outros fazerem o que ele quer. Tá certo? Seja por manipulação, seja por ameaça, seja por propina, seja por qualquer meio. Né? Então, a política trata de pessoas e de meios, nunca de valores e fins. Nunca! O que trata de valores e fins é a religião, é a filosofia. Somos nós, intelectuais, nós, os trouxas, que ficamos discutindo lá, enquanto isso os caras vêm com uma piroca deste tamanho e põem no nosso cu. Né?
This is where everybody gets confused because, look, if Biden acted like a pro-Moscow guy, he'd get caught. It'd be easy to find out what he was doing. If you go back to the record, Obama, remember when Obama was president, Biden was vice president, Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. You got a real trifecta there. They had the Russia reset. They helped Russia build their Silicon Valley. They gave billions for that. They helped with the Uranium One deal, and there were other deals too. They were feeding Russia. They were helping Russia. Then in about 2012, Obama had that unfortunate slip where an active camera and a mic rope in South Korea, he was talking to President Dmitry Medvedev and saying, and this was caught on and it went around the world. It was just amazing stuff. Well, about 2 months later, well, it was actually June of 2012, because that happened in March, Hillary Clinton does this visit to St. Petersburg with a delegation. Only her delegation really just cools their heels while she went into a room with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov for 2 hours. She comes out of the room. She won't tell the ambassador, the U.S. ambassador, what she talked about. She won't tell any of the State Department officials what she talked about with Medvedev. But starting after that, you have this slow, gradual reversal within about a year where all the Democrats do this about face on Russia, where they're pro-Russia, they're helping Russia, and suddenly they're all against Russia, and they're accusing Republican candidates like Trump of being Russian stooges, right? So this happens all in a year. So it's like this magical thing. How is it that they all made this turn?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Endeavour News. Thank you for tuning in today, and we hope you're having a great weekend. I'm Hector, and I'm here with my co-host Gilbert.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Hope you're doing well.
I hope you're doing well as well, and I'm also here with very special guest Victor of Intriga Tropical, straight from Brazil.
How are you doing, friend?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me here, Hector and Gilbert. It's a great honor to be here with you guys.
Yeah, something a bit different. You're our first guest from South America, Latin America. Very happy to have here. And there's no... Gilbert, do you want to take it from here and give a quick introduction of our guest?
Yeah, sure. So, as you're seeing, that's his profile on X. Go follow him. We're here with Victor from Intriga Tropical, our very special guest from Brazil. And I just want to say, to set the mood and to get, our mental juices flowing, this guy covers a variety of topics, anti-communism, politics in Brazil and in Germany and abroad. He follows the Great Reset sort of phenomena that's happening all over the world. But I think probably most importantly, he talks a lot about these sort of strange intelligence networks and these techniques of deception that all of these politicians and think tanks and groups, etc., employ against the masses of people who think they're supporting something genuine, who think they're supporting something organic and real and grassroots. But in fact, there's so much more that goes into, or that should go into the thinking in terms of what we should be doing, what we should be thinking, what we should be supporting. And unfortunately, it's only just now that people are kind of beginning to get to grips with this. And I see Victor. I looked through his links. I was like, I gotta have this guy on to explain it all to us. So everybody needs to know what he's here to tell us. I hope you've got a pen and pencil or and a notepad out, because you're going to be wanting taking notes. Everybody, you're going to want to pay very close attention to what is said here today. That this is kind of crucial information. He's going to tell us everything, really. And I mean, what happens in Brazil happens in Germany, happens in Japan, happens in New York, Texas, whatever. It doesn't matter.
And New Zealand. Don't forget
And
New
New Zealand, of course, and Australia. Of course, it doesn't matter. We're all going through this internationalist, communist overthrow of our governments into a one world communist internationalist government that thrives through deception and lies. And everybody, we need to focus on who is our real enemy, and what kind of beast, what kind of animal is our enemy. How do they move? How do they manipulate? We can't attack our enemy unless we identify who they really are. And I mean, that's I'm so happy to see, Victor is coming at us with some very original, raw talking points that he has actually done himself. He's done the research. He's started out with all the best information, and that we need to hear. And yeah, this is what it is, guys. We all need to work together now, because this is what's happening. And he was actually just telling us, I believe it was through Maurice. Now Maurice has attempted to make X and was it X and Rumble, Victor?
Yes, Rumble. It was the censorship on Rumble. It's from last year, but
Okay.
X, it's from this year.
Okay, wow. Okay, so this year, just as recent as this year, I mean, the Brazilian government tried to actually make these, whatever you think about Elon Musk, whatever you think about the creators of Rumble, doesn't matter. These are the tools we have. They tried to make these free speech platforms inaccessible to the public. So I mean, imagine that. I mean, we complain a lot about how our governments acted in the pandemic, and it was bad. But we just got a taste test of what it was like. But people in the East and Russia and China, they're already all the way there. People in South America, they're already getting there, to that point. And of course, they're heavily, Victor, I think is going to reveal how heavily influenced Latin America is by the Far East, are the enemies of the Atlantic world. So and just how deep their intelligence networks sprawl. So it's really important that we just get to grips and really understand that this is about the intelligence networks, their ways of deception, like that book By Way of Deception, and Rise and Kill First. This is what we're dealing with, and they are ruthless. Everybody, they are ruthless. They do not care. Okay, so everybody needs to listen up. As I said, get a pen out, get a pad out, and take notes, and perk up your ears and listen, because he's got some bombs to drop. And yeah, so that's what's happening. But Victor, how are you doing, sir?
Well, Gilbert, always well, sir. And I'm anxious, already to talk about my country, and basically, I have to be really honest. There is so much to talk. And when you invited me, I was thinking, like, hey, how can I make sense for gringos? And I don't use this term as pejorative,
Yeah, it just means
How-
foreigner, right? So it's not really.
That's great. Call us gringos. Yeah, go on.
Because it's basically I don't know, can I make my presentation or can I start talking, because there's just so much to talk. And I just want to start, not to waste people's time, and I'll be really honest. It will sound a little bit nuts what I'm going to say now, but we will return for basically the foundation of Brazil. And why I want to do that, I'm not going to give you a lecture, okay? It's going to be really fast, but I'm just doing this so you guys can see that it's always the same groups fighting for Brazil, all right? So basically, Brazil gets discovered in the 1500s, and it is officially discovered by the Portuguese. And the Portuguese, they were on a holy mission for the Holy Church. And I have to be honest with you folks, I'm trying my best to be a Catholic. This doesn't mean that I agree with Bergoglio or that I consider Bergoglio the Pope. Okay, but this is another subject, way more dense and serious. But let's go back to Brazil. And in Brazil, so Brazil gets discovered by a Portuguese mission to spread and baptize people in the whole world. The Portuguese, they even went to Japan in that time. So we have this first phase of Brazil when they are a colony of Portugal, and then Brazil becomes an empire, right? And then the empire, things start to get interesting. Why is that? Because we have two entities that are really, really strong. One of them is the army, and the other one are the Freemasons. So the Freemasons, they made a lot of mess during our empire. And our second emperor, Dom Pedro II, he was a Freemason himself. So a guy, a bishop from the Catholic Church called Dom Vital, he writes a letter, and Dom Vital writes a letter basically showing Dom Pedro, Pedro II, that, hey, these Freemasons, they don't have the best of the country in mind, and they want to overthrow your government. And not only that, but he addressed many, many problems that the Freemasons were causing. What does the emperor did? Basically gave Dom Vital's head to the Freemasons. Then Dom Pedro, he is expelled in the middle of the night, and this is so important because in the middle of the night, Dom Pedro is expelled from Brazil. So he's removed from the throne in the middle of the night, and he's expelled. Okay, so you have to leave Brazil right now. And when he tells on his diaries that when he was on the port to leave early in the morning, a guy from the recent government, from the Republic, that so the Republic in Brazil, it's basically a coup d'etat. So a guy was sent there to Dom Pedro. And this guy, I don't remember his name, I'm sorry, probably one Brazilian that's listening to us right now or in the future, he will comment this guy's name. But this guy calls the emperor and says, the emperor, please don't leave without any money. So we here, it's not about this is a violent coup d'etat, but we want to compensate you. So you don't leave, with one hand in the front, another in the back, as we say in Brazil. You live with nothing. And the guy offered the emperor 60,000 coroas, which is the equivalent right now to basically 1 billion reais. So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And the emperor asked him with witness, right, testifying to this. And where did you take this money from? And the coup the coup just happened, okay? Hours from the coup. And the guy, wow, it's from the national treasury, of course. And this this thief, this terrorist, let's say like this, like the Brazilian government nowadays try to call us, this terrorist, a real terrorist, he made a coup d'etat, was a Freemason, and the first thing they did was to steal from the national treasury. All right? And this is very important because the Freemasons, they have full support from the military. And the Republic of Brazil, it was declared by this guy right here in the screen that you just saw, called Marechal Deodoro da Fonseca. You see that he is his portrait. You can see all his condecorations and military uniform. But when he died, he was buried with a common suit because he was so ashamed of what he had done for who he worked for, basically. And you see, so now we go on. So this is now the last century. So last century, the first 100 years of the Republic, right? So we have dictatorship after dictatorship in Brazil. And the same folks, they were always in the executive branch. It was always a Freemason or a military or both. The guy was a military and a Freemason, all right?
Damn.
And we have, so let's go forward. We have in the 60s of the last century, we have another military coup, right? That is called the military dictatorship of Brazil in the 60s. And how does this coup happen? Brazil had a communist leadership, and the people went to the street and protested for months against these folks. And a lot of civilian leaderships got into power, and they got a lot of relevance. But the military intervened, basically hijacking the people's movement, and they said, in 6 months, we will deliver to you a new country and you can have new elections.
Mhm.
This never happened. And the dictatorship basically, it took like 20 years to end, you know?
Mm.
So
Mm.
it's a
Wow.
lot of time, basically 20 years to end the dictatorship. And when the dictatorship ended, even though a lot of conservatives and a lot of intellectuals say, oh no, the Brazilian dictatorship was a right wing dictatorship and they arrested and went after all the communists. That's a freaking lie, all right?
Mhm.
And I will tell you why. Uh, the Brazilian government in that time, they went after the guerrillas. They really killed the guerrillas. This is undisputable, okay?
Mhm.
But the greatest the greatest editor, the communist editor. So he published books. I don't know if I'm using the correct term here, but this guy was the biggest publisher of communist books in Brazil back in the last century. And my professor, Olavo de Carvalho, the old guy in glasses in the first video that you show in the opening video, that guy was friends with this publisher that say to him in his deathbed, yeah, Olavo, you gotta know, man, the dictatorship, the military government saved me a lot of times. They gave me not only subsidies, but they gave me money, they gave me credit. So whenever I needed money, I went to them and they gave me money. So how the hell can you combat the armed guerrilla that in fact it's a real threat, but you don't do nothing against the communists in the universities, you let them publish books, everything.
Mm.
My
Mm.
grandmother, for example, my grandmother, she was a Portuguese and literature teacher, and she had in her personal library, she, she had a lot of communist books, and she received it as visitors in her house, basically everyone, and even some military folks. And those folks, they never even cared. Oh, there's Eric Fromm books, that's Marx books, that's Engels books here.
Mhm.
Stimita reads it all. But
Mhm.
it's just a teacher, all right? This is, don't worry, okay? This is no threat, it's just a book, all right? But
Mm.
okay,
Mm.
let's go forward, not to be boring.
No,
And
no, no. This
so
is
we
this is great. This is really good. No, keep going.
awesome,
Keep going. Yeah, this is awesome, man.
awesome, awesome.
Mm.
And there is one thing about the military, that's really important for everyone to know. The military in Brazil, they are positivists. And this
Right.
is like an uncommon term for a lot of gringos, all right? And positivism is basically a philosophical school,
Mhm.
okay? And it states, basically, okay, this is, I'm doing a very rough resume, okay, on that.
Yep.
But basically, they say that the society has to be run by a technical group of experts. And who do you think are the experts? The military themselves. Okay, so the military, they all believe in even our flag, the Brazilian flag, pardon, the Brazilian flag, the Brazilian flag says order and progress.
Mhm.
And order and progress is a positivism term, okay? And Professor Olavo says, he states basically that every country that has experimented with positivism, right after positivism ended, communism took place. Because
Mhm.
communism, I don't know if you guys know about it, probably you, the hosts, know, but I don't know if the audience knows. But communism basically states the same thing. that, yes, you need to have the proletariat revolution, but the government itself will be run by experts. And it's, oh, folks, excuse me, but this is a rough resume of what the movement is. And you guys, you got, all right? You get me. And let's continue. So who the hell the Brazilian military delivered the government once the re-democratization happened? They delivered the government for leftists and communists. So we first had, if I'm not mistaken, we had José Sarney, and this guy, he's basically the devil. All right, he's the devil. Let's put it like that. And he's just a thief, and it doesn't even matter. Oh, I have to talk about Sarney and what he done to Brazil. No, he's just a thief. He is ridiculous, and he lost. All right, he lost his territory now to a real communist called Flávio Dino. I'm doing a tangent right now, so excuse me, just a parenthesis. And I'm going on a tangent. And Flávio Dino is from the same state of Sarney. And basically, this guy, who is now our Supreme Court judge, he ended Sarney's supremacy on Maranhão. So this is the power of this judge, okay? When he was elected governor. Let's go back to the Brazilian presidency. So these folks, this is the 80s, all right, which I am referring. Now, after Sarney, we had another John Doe, and then we had a die-hard Marxist called Fernando Henrique Cardoso. And this guy is a die-hard Marxist. After Fernando Henrique, we had Lula in 2002. And then after Lula, we had Dilma, Michel Temer, and Michel Temer. This guy is basically the king of the Freemasons here in Brazil. Okay, let's put it like that.
Wow.
And after Temer, we had Bolsonaro. So we arrive at today. Okay, so we arrive nowadays time. And folks, I'll be really honest with you all. So Brazil went from a divine mission to a communist coup d'etat. And right after that, nowadays, we are living in a complete exception state. I don't know if this is the correct term, in English, but we are basically living in one of the worst dictatorships the world has ever seen. We are just not as technological as the Chinese. But if we were, I would probably not be doing this interview, okay?
Yeah.
Like
I'll
that.
just say, for people that might not know, an exception state's basically like a state of emergency in sort of more English, Western-speaking countries, I guess you'd say, is more the common term. So it's sort of like that.
Right.
Yes, correct. I was drinking some of my beer. Excuse me. So that's why it took a while to respond. But okay, so now how can I make this tangible for you guys? Bolsonaro, he was elected in basically a right-wing movement train. So in 2013, we started having, and if you search July 2013 protests, you will find some references on YouTube and Google. And this was the first time that organically the people started to go protest in the streets in Brazil because they were really fed up with some stuff. The first thing that started the protests was a movement called It's Not for 20 Cents. Why is that? Because in 2013, yes, nice. This is a great article with a great picture of Brasilia back in the day. And in 2013, in June 2013, the São Paulo mayor raised the bus tariff by 20 cents. And the people went nuts because of this. Not everyone, but a group of people went nuts because of this. And they started protesting like every week. Every week.
Wow.
I went in the first protest that happened. It was 13th of June or 12th June of 2013. I wasn't even 18 years old back in the day. And I started going to these protests. It was like the repression was really violent. The police was really, really violent against the people. But one thing that started to happen, and it was really curious because any of the leftist leaderships in these movements for 20 cents, they didn't understand what was happening, because hey, where the hell are all these patriots and elderly folks coming? Because this is a protest made by universities, by university folks, by youngsters. This is a video in Rio de Janeiro, right, in 2013. And you see a lot of young guys here right now. So just the youngsters, doing the protests.
Mhm.
But more and more, every week that passed, more and more elderly folks and conservatives and patriots start to occupy the protests. And
Mm.
it came in a time that on September 7th of 2013, this is the date that I got arrested as a black bloc. Thankfully, the police that arrested me when he was in court, he said, it wasn't even the police that arrested me, okay? It was other police. And this other policeman said, I don't even know this guy, okay? So, yeah, so I was innocent from them. Okay, so returning. This is Paulista Avenue in the video. This is now Brasilia in 2013. So you see, there were a lot of people. The protests were violent. Most of the protests were violent, okay? But on September 7th, this was the day that more patriots and conservatives were on the streets than leftists and black blocs and all the scum.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I have to say, I was in the side of the scum back in the day.
Right.
I went in a long curve, okay, of learning.
we all have, man. We all have. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe not that big a
surely,
curve,
right?
but
Oh,
it's still a pretty
maybe
big.
not for us, but yeah, if you're in Brazil, that's like kind of all you know, right? Especially if your
Yeah,
parents induct you into that. It's just like what else is there? So yeah, it's like yeah,
but
we've all
you're touching a
mm,
good term, Gilbert. It's not about Professor Olavo said about that. Is in Brazil, it's not about indoctrination, because indoctrination you have when you show the other side opinion. In
mm,
Brazil, we are not even show the other side opinion. Okay, so
wow.
you don't even know that it exists. It's
Mm,
basically like that. So oh, let's say that. Let's make it real simple. Let's say that in New Zealand, you guys all wash your face with Coca-Cola, okay? And it was always like that. And you were guys, it's not like, oh, you prefer Coke than water. No, no, no. I wasn't even presented water. I don't know
Yeah,
what fucking
yeah.
water is, okay?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, right,
it,
right. It's like in the
it's like that.
idiocracy, like oh, Brondo, Gatorade, Oh, what you on water? Oh, you mean like in the toilet? Yeah, yeah, right. It's kind of like
Yes,
that. Yeah,
perfectly.
yeah,
It's
yeah. Oh,
exactly like that.
it's getting like that all over the world. I mean, you look at the universities, of course, we know the whole gender thing, but now it's like you can be different animals. I mean, I could be a pomegranate, Hector can be an armadillo. Like, it really doesn't matter. The sky's the limit, really. And I mean, this is the mental Marxist mind bending age where nothing, I mean, they're just totally brainwashing or more like brain bashing people into a strange, state of suspended disbelief. So I mean, it's really quite. I mean, it's radical and it's really telling. I mean, what's going on. But continue,
So
Victor.
true.
Continue. Mm,
So true. Well, so, no, your commentary was great.
mm,
And so in 2013, as the conservatives start taking the streets, we start seeing more and more protests of conservatives only. And these were the protests that basically people were stating the agenda. So we want less taxes, we want less government, we want the corrupts to be arrested, we want people to be held accountable, right? And we want the end of, they called back in the day, indoctrination. But Professor Olavo was really tough against these people, and he was saying, this is already a lost fight because it's not about indoctrination, as I said before. And but so you see, this movement from 2013, it lasts until 2019, pardon, until 2021. Okay,
mhm,
and so it's a crescendo, as we say in musical terms. So it
mm,
was getting more and more intense, but when the time passed. So we have 2013 really intense protests. 2014 more protests, especially against the World Cup here in Brazil, because in 2014 the World Cup was here, and 2015 we have a lot of protests. And it culminates, these protests, they were so powerful that they culminated in the impeachment of Dilma Rousseff on her second term. So this basically was a knockout in the Workers' Party that is today in power, that is now in power. And the Workers' Party, they were stunned, by this. They were stunned, and they were with their backs in the wall. They were really afraid of what was happening. And they didn't have time, or consciousness, or maybe intelligence enough to react as they are reacting today. And why is that? Because it was a blitzkrieg. And in 2015, we have Operation Lava Jato. And if you search it up, I think on ChatGPT or Google, you see that Lava Jato was responsible for making people know, basically, that those folks persecuted in Lava Jato, those criminals, they stole over basically R$ 1 trillion of Brazil. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. This is basically what is legally accepted. It's billions and billions of reais. But some experts speculate that the real impact of Lava Jato, and Lava Jato was an operation that, Operation Car Wash, okay, it's called. And they basically discovered one of the greatest corruption schemes ever in our republic.
Wow.
And it's billions and billions and billions of dollars. I'm not going to even say reais, it's billions and billions of dollars. Where are these people right now? You're going to ask me in the future, probably. Where are these folks right now from Operation Lava Jato that back in the day they were arrested and condemned? Our president Lula, now our president Lula was condemned by Lava Jato. Lula received a penalty of over 500 years, all right? And he's now our president.
Oh my God.
Okay.
How does that even work? Okay, so they found, do I have this right? That they found these guys guilty of billions of dollars of stealing, right?
Money laundering, stealing, corruption, extortion,
Yeah.
everything. Everything's on a book in
Wow.
Lava Jato, in this operation. And you see, Operation Lava Jato. So this operation was responsible for arresting our current president. And how the hell a guy that is condemned to 500 years of jail, he's now free and a president of a country, for God's sake, this is insanity. It's like when you take ayahuasca, but you never leave the tree. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it must feel like. Yeah, for the average Brazilian. And does the average Brazilian is like aware of this and stuff, right?
No,
No.
more or less, the average Brazilian has no memory, And
Oh.
nowadays,
Yeah.
nowadays, if you have a memory, it's a crime. For example, and
Yeah.
I will make a parenthesis here. Do you know what people doesn't remember? That Trump would be enacted on March 2021, and that he was going to be enacted on March 2021 because we had old laws in the United States and all the bullshit. But the goal was postponed, shifting of goals, whatever. Okay, so let me close this parenthesis because this is a work in progress of myself. All right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, okay. Just for you to know, I'm I'm betting all my money that most of the folks that spread Q and QAnon stuff, they will be arrested as Russian agents. But
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
let's close this subject, okay, and move forward and talk about Brazil because this is a work in progress of myself, and I will show you guys the material after. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
okay, anyways, this is very dangerous, because I know a lot of folks, me included, that spread all this. And let's continue about Brazil. We were in Operation Car Wash. So Operation Car Wash stopped when it arrested former President Michel Temer. Michel Temer was the president right before Bolsonaro, the guy who took place after Dilma was impeached. He looks like Dracula, as you can see on the screen right now.
Yeah, he does. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
And so you see, this guy commanded Brazil basically for 2 years. But as I said before, he's basically the king of Freemasons here in Brazil. He's basically Brazilian overlord in behind the scenes. All right.
Wow.
And what is crazy about this? It is this: when this guy got arrested, Bolsonaro was already in power. It was 2019, and you see, I had interviewed Arthur Weintraub, and Arthur Weintraub was Bolsonaro's former special advisor. And Mr. Weintraub told me that when Michel Temer was arrested, he was with Bolsonaro. And when Bolsonaro received the news that Michel Temer was just arrested, Arthur said to me, I thought that Bolsonaro would be cheering, that he would be really happy, that we really got like the Don Corleone, from Brazil. And Bolsonaro, as Arthur Weintraub stated, Arthur said that Bolsonaro got really sad. And he got really sad and really worried that, hey, how does this guy get arrested? Not too long after this happened, Bolsonaro appears, and now I'm sorry, guys. I just remembered from this video right now. I needed to have translated, but I just remembered right now. We have Bolsonaro in video, not too long after Temer was arrested, saying, "Hey, I am the president that ended Lava Jato," and not because um, how did he say it? I am the guy who ended Lava Jato because there's no corruption in my government anymore.
Ah,
And when
wow.
he said that,
Yeah.
what do you guess that happened? Not
Yeah.
not too long after this, all the criminals started to be released. And you see, we had guys, and I'm not even joking. So we had guys on tape, on an audience, with the judge. He was making his statement and saying, we have one of the contractors, for example, saying, yes, I delivered the money for this guy, and this happened like this, and we delivered not only this money, but this and this, and we paid to him through all these holdings and all this bullshit, and here's the scheme, and that's it. So the guy is making a statement to a judge, on a court, that yes, he delivered the money, yes, this is criminal money. And then we have last year and this year a lot of Supreme Court decisions that they need to receive their money back, and they have to receive their assets back as well. And they are not condemned anymore. They are innocent, free men. And these folks, these contractors, they are using the Supreme Court, the Brazilian Supreme Court decision, to go into other courts of the world, like Peru, our neighbor, and Chile, and other countries, to say, hey, the Brazilian court just made me innocent. I'm not guilty anymore, so I need my money back.
Wow. Holy
In
moly.
Brazil, they already got it. All right.
Yeah.
In the other countries, I don't know how is their influence. Okay, but anyways, and okay, guys, excuse me, but I'm shooting all over the place.
No,
If
it's
this is
okay.
getting a little confusing, okay, you just interrupt me because I'm doing a panorama of Brazil,
Yeah.
and I will go. I will go to Bolsonaro in a moment, okay?
Yeah.
Because I just want to let you guys know about this. And you see, as I stated before, and when we were beginning, that it's always the same groups in Brazil fighting for power. So we have the military and we have the Freemasons, or both of them together, fucking the people. Excuse me for
No,
the bad word,
no.
but
That's what it is. That's
okay.
exactly what it is. Yeah, for decades. So it's basically, if I have this correct, it's a long,
Centuries,
right,
centuries,
centuries
centuries.
long. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
of
gonna
these
take a sip of water.
agreements. Oh, so go, you go.
Mm. Excuse me, I was drinking.
Hopefully not beer.
So, yes, it's beer. I said water,
Okay,
but
fair
it's
enough.
beer. I
That's
just
fine. Yeah.
confused myself. Okay, but let's go. So, so nowadays you see that these groups, they have a lot of influence on Brazilian society. And Bolsonaro, he was elected in a train that was going against all these groups. All right. So we have all these protests happening for basically when Bolsonaro was elected, basically for 5 years. So it's 5 years of non-stop ongoing protests.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot of victories, because this street movement, it got Dilma impeached. All right. So these guys, they had influence. It was an organic movement from the people that got enough influence to impeach a president. So the establishment was really back with their backs against the wall. But what happened? Bolsonaro then takes all the agenda of this movement, of this street movement, and he translates into basically a marketing pitch for his presidential campaign of 2028 and 2018. I'm sorry. And and then Bolsonaro gets elected in 2018. It's like a dream come true. I remember that when he was elected, I was at my friend's house, and we were really, out of our mind. We are, basically we had enough drugs, to celebrate, and beer and alcohol. And we went out on the streets after the election, after Bolsonaro made his first speech. It was 8 p.m. in the night, and I was walking in the street. I saw a very old guy with a Brazilian soccer team shirt, and this guy turned to us, and he said in a very drunken voice, "Yeah, man, this is Brazil right now. Long live Brazil. God bless Bolsonaro." And it was like, wow, Brazil is really changing. People are confident. We are with great expectations that Bolsonaro will really crack down on the communists. And were we wrong, my friends?
Wow.
We were so wrong that we could even imagine. And you see, now I will ask you to show a video in the Google Drive folder that is the beginning of the end of Bolsonaro and Brazil. The video is called Fake News Inquiry, or Brazilian Fake News Inquiry, something like that. Let me see here on
I think I've
on
got
the
it
drive as well.
somewhere. Yeah, got it. Here we go.
Yes.
Let's pull that up.
So,
okay.
Just don't play it yet. But
Should
let
I
me explain briefly.
Victor, before you should I while it's playing, should I read out for our English audience, or because it's in Portuguese, I'm guessing.
It's got
the video?
subtitles.
Okay,
Yeah, it's got subtitles.
It's
Okay.
got subtitles.
Yeah, it got subtitles. Okay, so don't worry. It's basically like this. This fake news inquiry, it's the beginning of the end in Brazil. And why is that? You guys are going to see in this video, and I'm going to explain later, okay? But let's just play the video. And this is 2019, the first year of Bolsonaro. And just a moment, I just remember something really nice. Bolsonaro, and again, I'm sorry, I didn't translate this video. I just remember it now, okay? Excuse me. But we have on video Bolsonaro every Thursday when he was president. He went live on his YouTube and Instagram channel. And Bolsonaro said that, you have Bolsonaro and then the Attorney General of the Union right in his side. And Bolsonaro says that he was the one that said to the Attorney General, go on with this inquiry. And the fucking Attorney General, that it's now a Supreme Court judge, he went on, he was in favor of this inquiry. And you now guys are going to see the video of who was against this inquiry. Okay, so just play it for now just to see, okay? I'm going to be quiet.
Okay,
Let's watch the video.
Let's play it. I'm interested, yep.
O inquérito foi aberto no mês passado por determinação do presidente do STF. Dias Toffoli se apoiou no artigo do Regimento Interno do Supremo que autoriza a instauração de inquérito para apurar infrações cometidas na sede ou dependência do tribunal. O ministro Alexandre de Moraes foi nomeado para comandar as apurações. No fim do dia, ele recusou o arquivamento proposto por Raquel Dodge. A Procuradora-Geral da República, Raquel Dodge, a chefe do Ministério Público Federal, pede a anulação de todos os atos do inquérito que apura fake news e ataques a ministros do Supremo. Escreve a procuradora. A situação é de arquivamento deste inquérito penal. No sistema penal acusatório, estabelecido na Constituição de 88, o Ministério Público é o titular exclusivo da ação penal. A Procuradora-Geral também alega que a ordem do ministro Alexandre de Moraes não define com clareza os alvos do inquérito. A delimitação da investigação não pode ser genérica, abstrata, nem pode ser exploratória de atos indeterminados, sem definição de tempo e espaço, nem de indivíduos. O devido processo legal reclama o reconhecimento da invalidade de inquérito sem tal delimitação.
Dias Toffoli não explicou qual fato especificamente gerou essa investigação, porque o processo corre em sigilo, mas disse que notícias falsas e caluniosas atingem a honra e a segurança dos ministros. O relator vai ser o ministro Alexandre de Moraes.
Esse Supremo Tribunal Federal sempre atuou na defesa das liberdades.
O presidente em exercício do tribunal defendeu a atuação do STF.
Esta corte mantém-se vigilante contra qualquer forma de agressão à instituição, na medida em que ofendê-la representa notório desprezo pela democracia.
No início da tarde, o Procurador-Geral da República pediu ao ministro Edson Fachin a suspensão do inquérito aberto no ano passado para investigar notícias falsas, ofensas e ameaças contra ministros do tribunal. Aras disse que foi surpreendido com as ações realizadas hoje, sem a participação ou supervisão do Ministério Público, e considerou desproporcionais as medidas de bloqueio das contas nas redes sociais. Em outro trecho, o procurador conclui que a ação dos investigados representa a divulgação de opiniões e visões de mundo que são protegidas pela liberdade de expressão.
Que a coisa que começa errada tende a chegar a um ponto em que o erro será maior ainda. O inquérito começou mal, porque foi instaurado pela própria vítima, o Supremo. E aí nós sabemos que inquérito é instaurado por provocação da polícia ou provocação do Estado acusador, que é o Ministério Público. O exemplo vem de cima. A repercussão nos demais patamares do judiciário é péssima.
Wow.
This guy is completely correct. You know, I'm just just clarifying something. I said Attorney General, the Attorney General that was with Bolsonaro. He's called. How is the name of the evangelical guy? How is the faculty called? I just forgot his name. Okay, but it doesn't matter. Okay, he's a no one. But what matters is this: we have the Attorney General, and this is an English-Portuguese translation problem. Okay,
Yeah.
The Attorney General, we have the one that prosecutes people, that works, offensive, and we have the ones that is basically the real attorney of the union. Like the lawyer of the union, and the guy who said go ahead for the Supreme Court was the lawyer of the union. So you have the prosecutor's office saying this is an illegal investigation, and the prosecutor's office, they were against Bolsonaro. They were Bolsonaro's basically opponents. So these folks, they are against this inquiry, all right? Because as you see in the video, it's an inquiry that doesn't have, it has indeterminate acts and people. So we don't know who we are investigating. We don't know what we are investigating, but we are investigating. And it's best for you to be prepared and grab some lube, if Moraes have your attention. Okay.
Wow.
It's basically like that. Okay. We have people arrested from this inquiry since 2019. And do you know what Bolsonaro said about these people that were his allies? Oh, this one exaggerated. This guy made an exaggeration, and I don't even know him, okay? So, yeah, let's move on, okay?
Wow.
It's basically like that.
Holy
Okay?
moly.
It's basically like that.
And why is that exactly? They're friends of Bolsonaro, but they went against him. Is this there are all kinds of allegiances? I'm guessing, and is this what you're trying to tell us, that in this there's all kinds of that they've got split allegiances? Do I have that correct?
Yes, sir, but it's worse than, it's not only that, it's basically worse because we have groups in Brazil trying basically to remain in power forever. And we had people that they wanted to surf on Bolsonaro's wave, to grab some benefits and be elected. And we also had some people that really hated Bolsonaro. And this is the majority of the cases. And Bolsonaro is now hated both by the right, the real right, conservative movement, and by the communists, because Bolsonaro is a person that you literally can't trust. You can't trust this guy, He basically betrayed everyone that was beside him. Everyone. And I'm not even joking, all right? The first the first biggest betrayal, public biggest betrayal that Bolsonaro had was with former Minister of Education called Abraham Weintraub. And I talked his name before, Arthur Weintraub. So we had the Weintraub brothers in the government. And the Weintraub brothers, they were the ones that basically wrote Bolsonaro's government plan in 2017. You know? So if you search it,
and you interviewed him. You had a long interview with Arthur Weintraub.
With Arthur, yes. And
yeah, people
ought
to check that out. It's very interesting. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, don't worry, Gilbert. It's fine. You're making great observations. And you see, my friend, these guys, they were thrown out of the government. And why they were thrown out of the government, I will just upload a video on Google Drive so you can play for your audience. Okay, just a moment here. Because you see a Arthur Weintraub statement, Abraham Weintraub statement, from of China, what he literally thinks of China during the pandemics. And this statement of Weintraub and another thing got him out of the government. And what got him out, what was the last straw, was a private meeting that all the ministers had with Bolsonaro. No, this is the first video.
Oh, is this the wrong one? Sorry. I'll try to find it.
Okay, it's the wrong one. Okay, I'm uploading right now to my Google Drive. Okay, it will be called AWH. I forget how it's W, okay, in English.
That's too bad, yeah.
It's AW Pandemic, okay? It's one of the first videos in the Drive folder right now. It's on the Drive folder, okay? Please, you can play the video, AW Pandemic, and you see the opinion how Abraham Weintraub was positioning himself during the pandemic.
Yeah, I'm just downloading it. Give me a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm drinking some water. Water right now. Okay.
All right, let's play this.
Bolsonaro's former education minister, Abraham Weintraub, said on Twitter the pandemic was part of China's, quote, infallible plan for world domination.
The Communist Party responded with total ferocity. Chinese ambassador to Brazil threatened retaliation and demanded the Bolsonaro administration apologize for daring to criticize China. It was a serious threat. Today, the Bolsonaro administration is taking a much softer tone on China.
Wow.
You see a very short video. So this guy, the former Minister of Education, and the guy who went to the Education Ministry, excuse me for my bad English right now, the guy who replaced him on the Ministry of Education, he was arrested because of corruption. Okay, so we had a guy of this level calling out China.
Sounds like a rather switched on guy. I wish we had politicians like that in New Zealand.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, because it's like China's got their meat hooks in everywhere, but yeah, rarely do you ever hear them saying like, yeah, what are we doing? Like, it's like in California, they literally like rolled out the red carpet for the Chinese red aristocracy when they visited under Gavin Newsom. But keep going.
They learn from Brazilians, Gilbert. They learn from Brazilians, okay? From Brazil, especially Brazilian military, all right? And there's a very special video about this of the Brazilian military praising China, okay? But we will play in a while. And so you see, you have this education minister at this level calling China, and then Bolsonaro basically folds, and Bolsonaro delivers a tape of a recording of a private meeting where the same minister is saying, we have to arrest all these scumbags from the Supreme Court,
Oh my God.
He was the real deal, He was the real OG motherfucker, Thanks, He was like in a private meeting saying, yeah, let's arrest him, these are all scum. And he wasn't saying like something crazy, like he wasn't asking for, hey, let's be tyrannical and be dictatorship and start a dictatorship. No, it was, let's defend ourselves against an obvious tyranny, against an obvious dictatorship, And what Bolsonaro did, Bolsonaro basically gave to the media and the Supreme Court the recording, and this is mind-blowing, okay? Who the fuck will record a private meeting with your ministers? All right, this is just nuts. Okay, and we have multiple examples of Bolsonaro doing this all over his mandate. And what he did, it's basically the same thing that happened with Weintraub. Oh, Weintraub said really nasty things on this meeting at the Supreme Court. We want to hear it. And then Bolsonaro, oh, okay, here it is. And he did that all the time to save his ass. So whenever a private recording from the presidency went out in the Bolsonaro's government, it was for Bolsonaro saves his ass. And he delivered in a silver platter the head of his allies. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insanity.
It
This is no
reminds
joke,
me
this is
sort of,
insanity.
yeah, it reminds me sort of like, well, a lot of people actually, but even Trump, people were very emboldened by Trump, but Trump actually like sort of he and I'm not saying they're exactly the same or anything, but he attacked the
Many
senator from
pharaohs.
Alabama, who was one of the first to support him in his bid for 2016 presidency. But yeah, okay, so interesting. So okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I presume we'll learn more about you're leading us on into you're developing the true character of Bolsonaro. So I'll just shut up and let you continue. But yeah, basically sorry, go ahead.
Don't worry, Gilbert. Because if you let myself speak, randomly, at will, I will be speaking, nasty things, because the alcohol is already taking effect. And I'll be really honest. There's so much to talk. It's hard, So if excuse me. So if it gets confusing, just please tell me, okay? And I will correct myself or explain in more depth. All right.
All right.
But we have two in Bolsonaro. We have two major subjects, basically all over his mandate. We have all his betrayals, and we have coronavirus. So COVID was a really special place in Bolsonaro's mandate. And why is that? Because the coronavirus pandemic, it was declared by WHO, right, on March 2020. So it's March 2020, who declares the pandemic? Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro signs a law on February 2020. And this law, number 13,979 of 2020, this law came from, and in Brazil, just let me go on a parenthesis here. Brazil, the congressman can propose a law, and also the president, by using his office, can propose a law. And this law that was enacted 1 month before WHO declared the pandemic was born from Palácio do Planalto, SPL 23. Palácio do Planalto is the official president's office. So it's where the president works, all right, in his day-to-day business. And so we have a law project coming from Bolsonaro's office that arrives in the Congress and it gets voted in 1 hour. So it's like a blitzkrieg to approve this.
Wow, an hour.
Wow,
That's sort of
that
insane.
Yeah.
can't be legal. That can't be legal, right?
It's legal. You have the majority. And so last week we had on a small town here in Brazil, they raised their salaries. All the how it's called? It's not the congressman, but it's the guy who made the laws in the city. I don't know the name.
The
Okay,
Counselor or something. Yeah.
He's the counselor. They all voted to raise their salaries in 10 seconds. Okay, so 1 hour it's a lot. Okay, for you to have a majority of votes, yes. All right, and what does this law states? 1 month, again, I'm repeating myself, 1 month before WHO declared the pandemic. This law was stating forced vaccinations, obligatory vaccinations, obligatory and forced tests. So,
oh my
so
God.
how
1 month, 1 month, yeah, an hour.
1 month before, how the
Mhm.
hell do you do this? 1 month before. So the whole world, the world wasn't even, wasn't even thinking about vaccines back in the day. They were just thinking, yeah, there's something nice coming out from China, and that was it for the normies, all the norms at the mainstream media. But Bolsonaro voted a law that enacted, we can force vaccinate everyone in this country, and not only first vaccinate everyone, but in this law he stated that military, prisoners, policemen, um, public officials, and everyone that works for the government, basically, they are on the priority group, to be vaccinated, and they really need to be vaccinated. Okay, so and again, this is a problem with YouTube. I don't know if I'm going too wild here, but in Brazil, we have enough damages from this therapy, that was forced into people that it's impossible to hide anymore.
Right.
Okay, everyone knows someone that either died or it's really crippled because of this therapy.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. It's same in New Zealand. I know everybody who knows somebody else who died or got seriously messed up, got wasted by this by this bioweapon. So yeah, we it's the same. In New Zealand, Australia, sounds like it's the same everywhere. And yeah, it's crazy. I also just want to chuck in briefly that I understand that Bolsonaro was deep within the military as well. I don't know his rank if he was an officer, but I understand he was a
captain.
military guy. But yeah, keep going, Victor. This is interesting.
Okay, go. Thank you, Gilbert. Bolsonaro was a captain, okay, in the Brazilian
Wow.
army. But you see, if you search for, it's basically only in Portuguese, this newspaper material that is saying that Bolsonaro was basically expelled from the army, okay?
Oh.
And in this, in this, in
Yeah,
this
wasn't he like?
newspaper.
Oh, sorry, you go.
No, don't worry, Hector. Please ask your
Yeah,
question.
wasn't Bolsonaro like incited in some sort of like plot to blow up like military bases or something, or is that? Or am I misremembering that?
Yes.
What the hell? That sounds like a communist thing to do.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a right wing thing to do.
He's just nasty, let's go like that. He's not a communist, he's not anything. He's just a nasty person that tries to take advantage of all opportunities he's presented. Okay, but this newspaper headline was more or less like this: Bolsonaro was expelled from the army, and his official says that he's a drop shipper and cuckold. And so I think being called a drop shipper is worse. Okay, so it's like, what the hell, right? Come on. And then we have, if you can, Hector, please, if you can open to me in the drive folder, it's called Bolsonaro Hugo Chaves. Bolsonaro Hugo Chaves. Just open. This is a headline that I took from a newspaper in the 90s. The paper is called Estado de São Paulo. Okay, and it's a paper that it exists up to today. Okay, it's a 100 years old newspaper. So this is Bolsonaro in the late 90s, and here's what it says in the newspaper article: he's a hope for Latin America. What the Army Reserve Captain and Congressman Jair Bolsonaro from PPB, his party in the time, thinks. What does Chaves represents? The newspaper asks, and Bolsonaro says he's a hope for Latin America, and I would very much like to see this philosophy reach Brazil. He's saying Chaves philosophy, all right? Chaves was a communist.
Yeah,
I think he's unique. I intend to go to Venezuela and try to contact him. And the newspaper asks again, why is he admirable? And Bolsonaro answers, I think he's going to do what the military did in Brazil in 1964, or, just give the power to the communists. But with much strength, I just hope the opposition doesn't descend into guerrilla warfare as it did here. And the guerrilla warfare opposition that he's referring is just a small piece of resistance in Brazil, and that was swiftly dealt with by the military, and they represent no one from the communist government. They are just, legends nowadays. Oh, John Doe from the guerrilla. Yeah, only communists love these folks. Everyone despises them, because they know they are criminals. But you see, the greatest threat on Brazilian dictatorship were the communists writing books, and in the universities that they themselves did the revolution we are living today. And so you see Bolsonaro in the 90s praising Chavez. And how does that guy that 20 years ago was praising Chavez got elected as the voice of the conservative movement and as a big patriot, the biggest one that Brazil has ever seen? a little bit crazy, right? This doesn't sound right. Okay. It gives enough reason for us to doubt of his character, and his true ideology, right? And so you see, so I have told you already that Bolsonaro have showed enough for their allies that he isn't worth, uh, he isn't reliable, and that every opportunity he had, he collaborated with his enemies.
But
For example,
why?
when
Why would he even say that? I mean, if he's not a some sort of okay, look, I get you're getting to that. You're getting to that. I just find that so strange. It's like, is this guy on meth or something? But anyway, I'll just shut up. Keep going, Victor.
I wish he were. At least if he were on meth, he would be, hey, these motherfuckers, they tried to kill me, okay? These folks, they stabbed me when I was in campaign. And if a meth guy was like, yeah, man, I'm getting a little bit too paranoid. Time for a coup, just call the military, right? We're gonna arrest these folks, they tried to kill me. At least, oh, but what's happening, Mr. President? I don't know, I'm high, okay? And I'm scared enough of these folks. They already tried to kill me, okay? So, it's like
right.
a little bit madness, right? And you see, this is a great point, that I just touched it. And Gilbert, I'll be really honest. Your question, my friend, it's a real question that we can only speculate. All right, what were the real reasons? Nowadays, I am more prone to think that basically Bolsonaro, they discovered a lot of small cases of corruption. Like, oh, he took gas money from the Congress because congressmen, they receive a gas, some sort of gas bonus,
Yeah, like
in
his
their
allowance or
salary.
something, right? Yeah.
Yes, an allowance, and it's basically a benefit. It's a benefit from their position in the Congress. So they discovered a lot of these small corruptions in Bolsonaro, and also in Bolsonaro's children, that they are politicians themselves. And I think Bolsonaro got really scared because he's a person made of paper. He doesn't have any real guts. Because let me tell you this, my friend. If I have a wife and we are together 12 years, we are 12 years together. It's a high school romance.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Awesome, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, sir. And you see, if it is, if I was a politician and I was a nasty person, like, oh, Victor, Victor, it's a degenerate. Let's put it like that. And someone tries to blackmail me. Hey, I'm gonna show you all these photos and videos for your wife of you being banged by 15 black men, okay, in your hotel room.
Yeah.
Just show it. Just show her. Okay, fuck, I don't fucking care. And wanna know what? I'm gonna make a public statement about this. Hey guys, some folks, are threatening me. They are trying to blackmail me that I fuck those black guys, and this is a lie, okay? And I would lie, who cares, okay? I would I would just make the statement first, okay? So I would shock people, scandalize people. Who cares, about the black mayors? But you see, I think it's just this, Bolsonaro, he's a paper man. He has no guts. He's not a real man, because there isn't a real man that does what he did, okay, with us, against us. And to dwell deeper in his betrayal, just let me read a little bit the titles in the drive folder, because I have videos about this. Okay, I just forgot.
Yeah. That's okay. You go get them, and we'll keep the conversation going. And you just
No,
tell us.
I'm doing this right now. Okay, I'm reading right now. I'm just telling what I'm doing. And first, let's do this. So we already show your audience the fake news inquiry, and now we will show you. We will show you guys Bolsonaro's betrayal on the most important day of our republic, the Brazilian Independence Day. And I'll be honest, it's the most important day for the republic. It's not for me. I am a monarchist. Okay, I don't care about the Brazilian Republic. And if I was able, I would end this in a day. Okay, but enough of this bullshit. Okay, we are not made for this. United States is made to be a republic, not Brazil. Okay, we still have the royal family here. Just let's see if they have some testosterone to go behind me. Okay, but if I was a leader. Okay, but anyways, let's go in on. So you see, the Brazilian fake news inquiry started on 2019.
Yeah.
And this inquiry basically hunted all Bolsonaro's supporters, all right? And so we have 2019 to this day, this inquiry never ended. And if you talk to a lawyer, sorry, excuse me for this tangent, but if you talk to a lawyer in New Zealand and you say to him, ask him, what is the nature of a police investigation? And I mean legal nature, bureaucratic nature. He will basically say, oh, it's this and that, and the investigation has to have an end date. It has to end it, so the police can deliver their work for the prosecutors and the things happen in the judicial system. But anyways, so we had 2 years of the fake news inquiry, and we had 1 year of Corona. So we had a lot of oppression. We had a lot of madness going on, a lot of journalists and Bolsonaro supporters being arrested. And then we have the Brazilian September 7th of 2021 that Bolsonaro convocated this movement of September 7th, saying that this is going to be the last time you folks go to the street. And this is just a drone vision from Brasilia in that day. So you guys can see how many people were there. It's the sea of people. This is Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. And the capital of Brazil is a continental country. Things are really far here. It's not like New Zealand, that you fart and the guy in the south can hear. It's bigger. Brazil, it's a really, really big place. So you have the capital of Brazil with this sea of people, as you are seeing in the screen right now. This is like millions of people in Brasilia, just Brasilia itself. We had millions of people everywhere. I'm not lying. In all capitals of Brazil, we had people protesting. In São Paulo, my hometown, we had basically 2 million people in Brasilia. All the Paulista Avenue was occupied by Bolsonaro supporters. And please, Hector, if you can, play the video Bolsonaro Betrayal, September 7, 2021. And this video has captions, okay? So just be sharp on your screen right now. I'm talking to the audience, okay? Okay, pay attention. This video has captions. Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm just trying to find the video. I might not have it downloaded.
Yeah, keep going, Victor. You want to say?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, the video is called Bolsonaro Betrayal. It's right below Bolsonaro about Hugo Chavez, okay, in the folder. And it's called Bolsonaro Betrayal. And I made this compilation, that show Bolsonaro talking to the protesters in September 7th in Paulista Avenue in São Paulo.
This one, right?
No, it's not this. It's Bolsonaro Betrayal. Okay, I think you got it right there. And this video is captioned. Okay, this other one you can play next. All right, because it shows how it shows. I showed the drone footage, and this right here, it's on the screen. It's Bolsonaro making the speech for all those people. I didn't translate it. I didn't translate the speech because it's irrelevant nowadays. All right, but it's just for you guys to see how many Brazilians were there back in the day. Okay, did you find it, Hector?
Yeah, I'm downloading it. It's just going to take me about a minute. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, and in this video, all right, this video right there that Hector is downloading and is about to show you, you will see that Bolsonaro, you will see what Bolsonaro said on September 7th, and then what was the result after Bolsonaro said all those things. And you folks are in for a heart attack, okay?
Here we go. Oh, I'll put it back to the start. Here
yes, that one.
All right, let's play this.
Comecei a preparar uma nota. Havia telefonado. Eu telefonei ontem à noite para o Michel Temer. Falei com ele hoje de manhã novamente, o ex-presidente da República. Ele veio a Brasília. Por 2 momentos conversou comigo aqui, um pouco mais de 1 hora. Ele colaborou com algumas coisas na nota. Eu concordei e publicamos.
Tava aqui, foi para ninguém. Primeiro, eu você. Estava eu, Michel Temer e um telefone celular na minha frente. Ligamos para o Alexandre de Moraes, conversamos por 3 vezes com ele. E combinamos certas coisas para assinar aquela carta. Ele não cumpriu nenhum dos itens que combinei com ele. Logicamente, eu não gravei essa conversa, tá? Questão de ética, jamais falei isso, mas eu retiro para você. O senhor Alexandre de Moraes não cumpriu uma só das coisas que nós acertamos naquele momento para assinar aquela carta.
Quero o quê?
Não, não vou te falar isso aqui, tá? O pessoal fala que eu devo tomar providência. Eu estou aguardando o povo. Dá uma sinalização. Alguns falam, eu autorizo. Não falaram o quê? Autorizo o quê?
What do you authorize, right? Yeah.
Man, crazy. It's
Crazy, right? And as you see in this video, he calls to the former president Michel Temer, the king of the Freemasons, and the guy who put Alexandre de Moraes in the Supreme Court. And you see, they both write a note, and this note is basically, "Oh, I'm sorry, I exaggerated, and this is not a decent tone for our democracy." And you see, this is just a smaller betrayal from Bolsonaro compared to what he signed as laws. So he didn't not only signed the forced vaccinations laws, but he signed a law number 14,197 that of 2021, or this year of this protest that you just saw on the screen. So at the same time, he was saying to the public, "Oh, enough of the prisoners! Let's free everyone!" So at the same time, he was saying this bullshit. He was signing a law that was a project from 1991 of Hélio Bicudo. And Hélio Bicudo is a major player in the Workers' Party, the party that is now in power, Lula's party. So Bolsonaro enacted a project from the Workers' Party that is called Crimes Against the Democratic State. And Dilma Rousseff, who was from the Workers' Party itself, Dilma, when was president, she enacted a law that say crimes against the state. And Bolsonaro used the communist term, crimes against the democratic state. And all the supporters that are being arrested because of January 8th of 2023, when the protesters invaded Brasilia. And sorry, I don't have the videos on the folder. You have to find Brasilia, January 8th. You will find on YouTube videos of the protests and all the guys who got arrested and all the Bolsonaro supporters that got arrested before, they are being charged on this law as terrorists. And no one from the right or these big accounts say Bolsonaro himself enacted the law that made his allies to be prosecuted and hunted, in a way that we never seen before. All right. So you see, this guy, he's the perfect representation of doublespeak, as we say, and doublespeak as George Orwell say. So, wow, right? And Hector, if you can, there's more videos of this September 7th day, so you can show to your audience how many people were there. You can see them in the folder as Brasilia, capital. It will be Brasilia in parentheses, capital. There's the drone footage. There is on Paulista. This is Brasilia, right? Just you can mute the audio, okay? It's irrelevant for us. But you see, it's a sea of people. Brasilia has never ever seen that many people, ever. All right, and it's mind blowing. All right, and there's another video of Paulista Avenue, if I'm not mistaken, on September 7th that I posted on the drive folder, and so you guys can see. So this is the capital of Brazil on screen, and we had basically 2 million people also in São Paulo. In Rio de Janeiro, the same. not too many people, but basically 1 million people were there in Copacabana protesting. We had this on all states of Brazil. And what does Bolsonaro do right after? Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's make a deal with Alexandre de Moraes. And what are the terms of this deal, Mr. President? As the reporter asked him, oh, I can't say you that. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Right? You see?
Yeah.
You understand? It's called the video in the folder, Hector. It's called São Paulo Paulista Avenue, September 7. It's right in the end of the folder.
Yes, I got
okay. So see, this is a madness. This is Paulista back in the day. Look, this is basically Brazil's poster card. Look the size of the crowd. You can play the video, no problem.
That's
All
insane.
right?
Yeah.
You see?
Wow.
Just take a look. This is the beginning of Paulista, basically. All right? It's insane. Sorry, not the beginning. This here is the museum called MASP. So this is basically the middle of Brasilia. And you see, both sides occupied. All right? This avenue is 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers, has 3 kilometers length. Okay? So it's, this is for people who don't know, this metrics is 3,000 meters. So it's a lot. Okay? So you can see a lot of people in 3,000 meters on both sides of the avenue. Right? So this is nuts. We never had this many people protesting in favor of someone. And late Professor Olavo wrote back in the day that Vladimir Lenin from the Soviet Union, he would be willing to be sodomized to have 2 million people on the street. Because if he had 2 million people in the street in Soviet Union, he would make the revolution in the same day. Right? But what do we had, Bolsonaro? We had the greatest popular movement and support of all time. And what does this translate to? To anything. To be ashamed, to be hunted. But this motherfucker, and I'm sorry, pardon my French here, but this really gets me nuts. This guy is such a coward that look what he did. We will never do this again in my lifetime, my friend. We lost the chance of a lifetime in this bullshit. All right? And why is that? To a fucker, to a loser of our military, to deliver our country to the fucking communists, to people that declared, we are gonna fucking hunt you, kill you, and arrest you. All right? So it's all this, my friend. So this is nuts, And these folks, they really tried to fucking kill Bolsonaro. They stabbed Bolsonaro during his campaign. And what did Bolsonaro did against this? He did nothing. He didn't even investigate it. He ended the team that was investigating his assassination attempt. And you see Trump, what does Trump talks about his assassination attempt? Oh, let's move on and focus on the elections. After elections, I will deal with that. The same exact thing that Bolsonaro said. So, my friends, come on, right? I'm not in. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Okay? So, now, Hector, please, I want you to, and this will blow out people's mind right now. Please, Hector, show the file called Alan dos Santos tweet. Alan dos Santos was a major player here in Brazil back on Bolsonaro's mandate because he had, this guy right here, he had the biggest conservative newspaper in Brazil. So he had hundreds of thousands as an audience. Now he's exiled on the United States. All right, he ran. He ran from Alexandre de Moraes and the Supreme Court. But let's see. This was published in one of his accounts on September 9 of 2021, as you can see on the original tweet on the screen. And what does he say? Does this ring a bell to all of you? Look what he says. I'm going to read it to you. The information I just received now is very good. Scary, but good. I still need to verify the details, but here's the summary. Bolsonaro didn't back down, but he wants to expose the dirt of the Supreme Court and Alexandre de Moraes. To prove it, he will need to let the enemy act. Bolsonaro had already published the note on September 9.
Dear God. Yeah.
And as a headline, as a headline in this image, look what I did. Shifting of goalposts and false justifications. Okay, so what we're witnessing here is that Bolsonaro, he set Brazil on fire, and on September 7th of 2021, Bolsonaro was saying to everyone, I will never ever comply again to any of Moraes' decisions. And then 48 hours later, he publishes a letter. Oh, I'm so sorry, Moraes. I agree with you. You understand? And what does his minions, what does the biggest conservative journalist say when he publishes that? Oh, look what I got. I have this hidden information that I can't share with you guys, but hey, Bolsonaro is letting the enemy act.
Yeah, let the enemy do whatever they want, and then something magical happen and undisclosed amount of time.
It's kind of like the QAnon thing or something, you know? Like, yeah.
This is exactly that, Gilbert. This is exactly that. You know, it doesn't change a bit, you know, of what happened. You know, it's the same shit, just recycled for everyone.
Yeah.
And, you know, and this is mind blowing to see right now. I think some of you folks in the audience right now must be losing your minds because hey, it's exactly what happened to America, right? Right?
Yeah.
Exactly what happened to America. You know, so you have everyone, and you now have this desensitizing agents. You know, just tranquilizing the population, just being serving as anesthetics. You know, oh no, just wait, the enemy is acting, but we all gonna arrest him. Hey, loser, I'm just gonna tell you something. If you are an official and you are witnessing a crime, okay, and you don't do anything, you are committing a crime, retard. Okay, how much of a retard you have to be to understand that if you are an official, you know, and you are seeing someone committing a crime and you do nothing, you too are committing a crime right now. You know, this is mind blowing. Okay, and this is just pure evil. How can you say, oh, we have to let the enemy act, and we have to let people's lives be destroyed? We have to, you know, people who you see, even in America, in United Kingdom, in New Zealand, in Australia, people who repeated that we have to let the enemy act. But hey, here's the thing right now, and just take a look into all these horrible crimes. And this guy got arrested, but who told him that hey, we got to let the enemy act? He's not arrested. Okay, so wait a moment. So if I repeat the same bullshit, I get arrested. But these guys, they can say anything they want, and they don't get arrested. What the hell is going on? Right? And you see, so, and these folks who got arrested in Brazil, they got arrested, as I said, by a law that Bolsonaro enacted, that was a law from the Workers' Party that now labels them as terrorists. So Bolsonaro was the great responsible for labeling his audience and his supporters as terrorists. You know?
Oh, the irony. That is crazy, man.
Right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
there's a quote, and I don't remember the guy's name, but my late professor Olavo de Carvalho, he repeated this quote a lot of times, and he said that the last battle will be against communists and former communists.
Right. Right.
You know,
right.
there are former communists that are anti-communists right now. When I had, I think, my second or first interview with Mr. Jeffrey Nyquist, Nyquist said very eloquently and perfectly, he said, you don't defect from communists, you defect against communism. You know, it's not about, oh yeah, I'm not a communist anymore, let's just live my life. No, you can't do this, bro. Yeah, you know, that there's you can't just, you know, live your life right now after basically there's in the Bible, and there's a demon that God shows Job, and it's a demon that he adapts to every attack he receives, and God says, "Only me can defeat this demon, this monster." So, isn't communism right? I think that an analogy, this can be a perfect analogy to communism. A demon that always adapts. So you see all these fuckers. Oh no, you are a woman. No, you're not a woman. You know, you are a retard. You are discussing with a ghost. You know, it doesn't matter what they say. If they are a women, if they are retards, if they are faggots, it doesn't fucking matter. You know what matters is they are in a fight for power, and they will say whatever they have to say to get in power.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about, oh, let me take this debate seriously, you know. And so this is just mind blowing, you know. And what did our president, you know, the guy who was elected as the greatest patriot ever in Brazil, the Brazilian Trump, you know, what did he say? What did he did? He basically made negotiations. He made secret negotiations with the Supreme Court and all his opponents, you know, and delivered in a silver platter the head of all his allies. So, this is mind blowing, okay? This is, for me, enough evidence, you know, to show that this guy is a fucking coward and he doesn't deserve any respect. And we have to start this movement of don't giving respect to anyone. Oh, I have to talk about Karl Steimer in England, like, oh, he's the minister and whatever. No, he's a communist, you know. Come on, just say, but just say it, stop it, you know. Because you see, how does the exorcist gets power over the demon? When he learns the demon's name, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a Latin quote that say, "Nomen est omen." Name is destiny. All right. So Gilbert, just search for the meaning of your name. Hector, do the same thing. You guys are fated. It's your fate to leave the meaning of your name. And you guys just have a lot of experience right now, I guess. And I think that whenever you learn about your name's meaning, you see that, hey, it's basically, you know, how I react in life. This is mind blowing, you know, because it's really is your fate. This is a really serious subject, you know. And now I don't remember why I got into this, but let me just continue, okay? And okay, so right now we will go. Just let end Bolsonaro, okay? Just one moment. We have one more video, all right, of Bolsonaro's. That this video is about the Brazilian military, and this guy is a general, and he is a general that was nominated by Bolsonaro as a minister of state. Like, he was the hot shot. This guy, he was the hot shot, all right, from Brazilian government. After the president, this guy, minister of state, he was the big deal. And please, two videos right now that I see in the folder. First, this video of the general. It's called Hector, and I'm sorry, I'm looking for it right now. And it is called Bolsonaro Minister, No Future Without in the folder. And please download this one, Bolsonaro Minister, No Future Without China.
Yeah, we've got it. Oh, are you there, Victor? I think it's starting to have some connection issues.
Oh,
are you there, Gilbert?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, that's okay. This happens sometimes. We'll just wait for Victor to reconnect. Maybe unmute yourself, Victor, or if you like, you've got the link to come in. Maybe what?
I'm here.
Oh, you're back.
You're here. Oh, good. Okay.
What happened? Yeah, I don't know. I saw a red sign here as well. I don't know what happened. Okay, but I'm here.
Probably a monkey swinging off the internet cables or something.
Chinese 5G, not monkeys. There are no monkeys in Brazil anymore. You know, it's Chinese 5G. You know.
Yeah, probably the Chinese 5G zapped all the monkeys or something. Yeah.
All right. I've got the video ready to go, and I'll play it now.
Okay.
Eu só queria passar ao Sr. Thomas Lau e aos representantes da China que eu, como cidadão, como militar que sou durante 48 anos e hoje como ministro de Estado, eu vou definir a importância da China para o Brasil. Não existe futuro de relações do Brasil sem a participação da China, em todas as áreas.
Oh,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's freaky. Damn.
And now,
Damn.
Now, please play the video of the China terminal.
Okay.
Yeah, I had that one go.
Okay, please. It's Bolsonaro Special Advisor, China terminal in Brazil.
Yes, there we go.
Name of the file.
Got it.
It's amazing.
Structure they need. In order to get commodities to China, they need a way to ship them.
My name is Arthur Weintraub. I am a law professor in the Federal University in Brazil.
Arthur Weintraub is an academic and an author. He served in President Jair Bolsonaro's administration. Now he's running for office in a different party.
Now we are going to the port of Santos. It is the biggest port in this part of the world.
By population, Santos is about the same size as Atlanta. It's just a 2-hour drive from the city of Sao Paulo. which is roughly the population of New York City and Chicago combined. The region is the economic center of all of Latin America. The Port of Santos ships about as much tonnage as the Port of Tokyo.
Brazil is the biggest economy in Latin America, and São Paulo is a third of the GDP.
In March, a Chinese state-owned company called COFCO, which is the largest food processor in China, secured a long-term lease for a bulk terminal at the Port of Santos.
We are losing all Latin America. I'm afraid even to speak right now. I'm afraid of being arrested in Brazil. There's this risk. If you speak openly, you can be arrested.
Weintraub took us to the terminal.
All you can look, even the small things, the cargoes, the port, the containers, everything is Chinese lease. This is the backbone of the economy in Brazil. So if they shut down that, it's over for us. Imagine all the food that Brazil exports to the world. If there's a shutdown, the control that China can have, not only with Brazilian economy, but all the countries that buy food from Brazil.
That's amazing.
Amazing, right? Yeah? You know,
Mind-blowing.
you see, I told Mr. Nyquist that this year in Brazil, they tested in Santos, the city you just saw in the video, they tested all the small sharks, right? So it was a test from the university, from the government itself, but it's basically all this nature bullshit, from the government, that someone is responsible to that, okay? I don't care. I feed turtles, with plastic straws because they are hungry, okay? So I don't care about it. Just kidding, okay? So, but I don't know much about the sea life and so, but these guys were testing the sharks on Santos, and they discovered that 100% of the small sharks tested positive for cocaine.
Wow. Okay. Sharks are having a good time in São Paulo.
Seems like the sequel to Cocaine Bear's actually coming out, Cocaine Shark.
So you see, usually people have a sign on the beach. If you're bleeding, please don't go in the water. We have sharks. In Brazil, we had to inaugurate a new sign. If you're high, just don't go in the water, okay? The sharks will fucking eat you because they are addicted to cocaine, okay? And how does this happen? Because all these ships, all the shipments, we have an organization that's called Primeiro Comando da Capital, PCC, and PCC, it's considered by the American government a terrorist organization. These folks, they hire professional divers, and these divers, they plug the cocaine on the casks of the ship, underwater. So it's said, Arthur Weintraub wrote a book about this, and I was talking to him the other day, and he said to me, Victor, nowadays, the Porto de Santos Harbor, exports monthly 120 tons of cocaine.
Wow.
That's wow. 100.
If you see someone doing drugs in Europe, it's probably Brazilian drugs. If he's snorting, it's Brazilian cocaine, okay? So pay the tax. All right. This came from Brazil, my friend. Yeah.
It almost sounds almost like a proud endorsement or something.
Yes, the sharks fucking love this, Yeah.
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
And how does the sharks tested positive? It's not that they eat the cocaine from the casks, but the sharks, they eat the small fishes, and the small fishes, they eat the debris and the dirt from the seafloor, and this. I don't know about sea life too much, but it's basically the food chain, and all the fishes are high, in Brazil. So like, let's see Nat Geo if they make a documentary about this, the high fish, okay? Oh, come on, right? What a madness, right?
Yeah.
And Hector, just for us to see another showmanship of cowardice of Bolsonaro's, can you please play the video that's called Bolsonaro, You Go First, We Last. It's a video that it had some laughs. I don't know if you played it already.
I've got it. No, we haven't played this one yet.
Yeah,
we're talking about this
that
before
one,
the stream.
please.
All right, we'll play this one.
Yeah, please play it.
O militar fez um juramento de defender a sua pátria, com sacrifício da própria vida. Vocês todos, inconscientemente, juraram defender a sua pátria. E se forem convocados, vocês vão na frente, na linha de frente, na minha frente. O militar vai mais atrás. Vai primeiro vocês. Agora, o que é defender a pátria?
That's just
You
insane.
see,
Yeah.
What the?
insane, right? What is this? Is basically that meme of, hey, what is a leader and what is a boss? You
Yeah,
have
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
boss.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is this meme. You know, he's just saying, oh, I'm behind you. I'm the leader, but I'm going behind you. You know, this is just. I think nowadays, I think that this is a Freudian slip, and he said this before, if I'm not mistaken, he said this before September 7 of 2021. As you see that all the sea of people, you know, like, hey, all the military that I know, and I know some tough people from the American military, some really tough people. And these guys, you don't even have to ask. They are already going in the front of you, you know. They are already charging the enemy. They're not even asking, you know. It doesn't even come to their mind. So you see, as I told you, Bolsonaro was expelled from the army, right? And our army is not that different from him, okay? He was just expelled because he was, as his officer back in the day said, a cook and a drop shipper. Okay, don't know which is worse. And you see, it's just mind blowing, all right? This is crazy, you know? And look how many people's lives he destroyed. You know, and he said to the people many times, oh, you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to be ashamed of, you know. And this is on Brazil, I don't know when. This is Brazil, January 8th, 2023. Bolsonaro was fleeing to Miami when this all happened. All right. So people were taking Brasilia. All right. There were a lot of infiltrated among these folks. A lot of people got infiltrated among these folks. The infiltrated didn't got arrested. All right. But the suckers who got there, they all got arrested. And this is Lula in his being enacted as a president. All right. People cheering and clapping. And I don't know what's happening right now in the screen of Washington Post. It's just a picture of Bolsonaro. But you see, this is basically the resume of January in Brazil, January of last year in Brazil.
Yeah.
Bolsonaro, this guy is a prick, you know, because later, nowadays, we all know that he was in going to America and he was selling the jewelry he received from Qatar and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And he was selling that jewelry. He was selling that jewelry on pawn shops, you know. So you just turn on History Channel. You're going to see that program, you know, pawn shop
Yeah.
from Rick and his sons.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're going to see Bolsonaro's officer coming there. Hey, I'm selling this Rolex, you know, this diamond Rolex. And he did that. He didn't sell to Rick, okay, but he sold to another pawn shop. This is just madness. All right. How dumb you had to be, you know. Hey, just sell in the dark market, you know, in the black market. I'm not even a criminal, you know, but I would at least, you know, sell to the dark market. You know, just sell it to anyone using money and we won't track, you know, right? So it's just, and Bolsonaro is being investigated by the FBI. So why does Trump and Musk are not seen anymore with Bolsonaro? You know, it's because of that.
Right,
You know?
right. Interesting.
If I were Trump, and Trump, the last time Trump saw Bolsonaro, it was in this day you just saw, January 8th or January 9th, if I'm not mistaken. Bolsonaro went to Mar-a-Lago, and then Trump never ever met Bolsonaro again. And at the same time, the investigations started. So, what a madness, right, folks?
Yeah, that's insane. So I mean, they got this guy. I understand he was a captain, but he was from humble beginnings, and that they saw. I think they saw some potential somehow in him, and then they got him into politics. Is that roughly, very very roughly, sort of how he came to be? But he wasn't really the military captain that he was supposed to, or he didn't show any traits of as such. Certainly not in his presidency.
An opportunist, right? he was at least for me, he was an opportunist, you know. And there's a quote of Professor Olavo that he says more or less like this: evil and stupidity are not antagonistic terms. So you see, evil and stupidity, they walk hand on hand, okay, like husband and wife. You see, whenever you met someone that is stupid, he will commit an act of evilness, right? Of evil. Or whenever you meet an evil person, she's probably stupid in most of the things. All right. They can have some real like demonic sagacity or tenacity, like Klaus Schwab and all these other folks, but they are not on reality. Okay, let's put it like that. They are not on reality. Okay, these folks. So they are dumb and stupid because of that. If you are not on reality itself, you are dumb. Okay, you are missing something. And this is not, oh, you're cursing me, you're offending me. No, this is just a plain statement. Okay, it's a direct statement. Okay, people that are not in reality, they tend to be very dumb, and they tend to be also very evil. Okay, and just for us, it's not. I just 2 hours now from our conversation, I think, and let's just move on and show the videos of Bolsonaro in 2024. Okay, so Bolsonaro with Klaus Schwab. Look at this smile. All right,
I've never seen a man so happy before.
Yes.
Even Schwab is a bit taken aback. Look at his facial expression.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah, like really, this guy? You gave me this guy? even he.
Not impressed.
Yeah,
you know,
but he's perfectly
and
happy.
sometimes I understand Schwab. You know, sometimes I have to be honest. Sometimes I understand Schwab. It's like you see a guy like Bolsonaro, and you just think, "Yeah, I'm gonna own these folks. Yeah, I'm gonna destroy them. They're not even expecting what I'm going to do. Okay, it's going to be a big surprise, and it's not even a big surprise. If I were Schwab, I was going to greet Bolsonaro with a hug and a big smile, and I was going to say, "How the hell, my brother, were you able to vote the first vaccinations laws 1 month before my other brother, that nigger from Ethiopia, just declared the pandemic? This is awesome. You know, like what the hell? You know, like you are the king of the vaccines. You know, fuck Trump. You know, Trump on Operation Warp Speed. They are just beginner, like they're white belts. You know, you are a black belt, Bolsonaro. First vaccinations even before we declared the pandemic. You know, what the hell, man? You're the best, right?
Carl Schwab's #1 soldier or something.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, but basically, in summation, we have some centuries of control by the Freemasons, the military, and communist infiltration, sort of creating like a hotbed or a soup or a stew of government control. Of institutional control in Brazil, and it has just consolidated itself over the years and grown and grown and grown over those past centuries. And so they've got it on lock by the sounds of it, by the sounds of what you're telling, what you told my audience, Victor. And then this guy comes along and basically just give this the final finishing
it says he's going to
touches of the
finally,
paintbrush.
he's going to remove corruption from Brazil. He's going to, get all these communists out of positions of power, and then just, comes in, speaks big, does nothing, gets like half of millions of people arrested and, on watch lists, removed from public life, and then, goes and flees.
And he was given all the opportunity through the Weintraub brothers and all kinds of other people who put all their trust and all their faith and all their loyalty and probably time, effort, and money into this guy, and he just does like a complete 180, like a 360. What do they call it in the skateboarding? 360 kickflip or something. And just poops on everybody, and just closes the fate of. And I mean, look, I just want to see. I know you want to move on, Victor, but I just want to say, that this is, that there's such Chinese CCP influence in Brazil, and they've got the drugs, the fentanyl going to these countries, And they're helping transport it from these Latin American countries up through the Darien Gap and Mexico into
True.
into the United States. So I mean this is the hybrid warfare that the CCP is waging through the cooperation of Latin governments and in many cases EU governments and US governments, and they're using these governments through the CCP as conduits of their hybrid warfare to basically do these harmful things to our nations. And it doesn't help Brazilians, doesn't help Americans, nor Australians or New Zealanders. I mean, this is all really undermining our nations and our sovereignty and our safety and our freedom. And so, this is the point. I mean, listeners in New Zealand or wherever, if you're from Britain, Oz, wherever you are, I mean, this is important that we pay attention to these things. Well, what Victor is telling us, I hope you got a pad and pen out. Because we need to pay attention to this because this is all connected. We live in a connected global world. So we all have to look at what's going on in each other's countries to see the whole picture. We need to see the whole picture. We've got to see the whole scope. And this is the way that the CCP, through people like, Bolsonaro and cucking out to the WEF and the UN, which are, communist, heavily communist infiltrated agencies, this is how they are all connected and group, together. They're destroying our country. So through this sort of network, this intergovernmental military intelligence, network throughout all these countries. So this is what we really have to be aware of, and they're doing. And it's not just the drugs, of course. They're doing it in all kinds of different ways. So remember, they have a Bolsonaro, but remember, we had an Ardern, and we only had 2 years of that, and now we've got Luxon. And how different is Luxon to Jacinda Ardern? Not very much, right, guys? Not very much at all. Basically the same. Just Jacinda Ardern light is what Christopher Luxon is. And so we're still barreling down this path to authoritarian dictatorship in New Zealand. Okay, New Zealanders haven't learned. Victor said Brazilians have a extremely short memory. New Zealanders, they just don't. That they haven't picked up on it yet. We covered, Hector and I covered the New Zealand elections. We went, wow, we've got a lot of learning to do as a country. Have they forgotten that? Did they not pay attention to what Luxon said in his campaign? So I mean, this is what they're using the same tricks, the same methods of deception and manipulation. We have to be aware of it, guys. We have to learn from it. I just want to say that we want to move on, but it's a global fight. We need to become scholars of how our enemy behaves. So with that being said, I just really wanted to smooth out the pavements. Just get it. I like to just round it all up, get it clear. So now we will Brazilian Supreme Court AI surveillance. You want to hit that next, or do you want to comment on anything that was said before we move on to the AI
Yes,
surveillance?
please, Gilbert.
Yeah.
Just want to state that your commentary was perfect, and if I just can
Thank
add
you.
to it,
Yeah.
is that when we have all these parallels and all these coincidences, it's not about it's just like some people try, and I'm saying that you did that, but some people from the mainstream media, they try to sell this. Oh, this is just the consequences of a global world. Okay, there's no such differences.
Right.
And to me, this is a crime evidence. All right. Because if you were being prosecuted by homicide, for example, and let's say that we three here were being investigated, and it's like, hey, there are too many coincidences in these three folks. They are acting together. At the same time, Gilbert was doing this, Victor was doing that, and Hector was doing the other thing. And everything just, everything. It's like a puzzle. That I give you one piece, and Hector gave another, and Gilbert gives another. So this is just like it's not an innocent coincidence, but
Yeah.
a plan. It's like this is the evidence of the plan that everything is happening everywhere. Because when we start to see, like, hey, is there any group that these folks like Jacinda and Bolsonaro and these other politicians make part? Yes, there is. You know.
Yeah.
You see, so that's my point. You know, my friend. And if you can continue, let's talk about now Brazil. The next video that I asked Hector to put on the screen, it's about the AI surveillance that the Brazilian Supreme Court is doing against its own people. And this video is from 2023, so last year, all right? But as you can see, as soon as Hector puts on the screen, Hector.
There we go. I'll just get it up.
Yes,
Yep.
perfect. Yeah, let's see it. Let's watch it, please.
Em conversas que nós tivemos com o STF, nós criamos uma plataforma chamada TORS, Tecnologia de Otimização de Redes Sociais, com um objetivo bem específico. Esse sistema TORS é um sistema específico para o STF, criado pela Fasios, não é utilizado por mais ninguém, com a ideia de capturar nas redes sociais informações, publicações de interesses do STF através de palavras-chave. Então, palavra-chave STF, palavras-chave nomes dos ministros e qualquer outro tipo de palavra-chave que interesse ao STF. Nós capturamos especificamente nesse primeiro momento do Twitter todos esses posts com as palavras-chave definidas pelo STF. No momento da captura, nós verificamos com o algoritmo próprio se o post é feito por um humano ou por um robô, porque nós sabemos que na indústria da desinformação, a grande maioria das informações das fake news são geradas por robôs. Então nós temos um controle do que é feito por humano e do post que é feito por robô. Isso fica classificado e guardado na nossa base. Nós também analisamos, através de machine learning, de inteligência artificial, se aquele post, sob a perspectiva do STF, ele é positivo, negativo ou neutro.
Wow.
Since last year, you know, this is what they're doing, and this is how they go after, you know, anyone that's basically talking something against them. And this is so nuts, you know, because people say Elon Musk is fighting for freedom of expression. This is an exaggeration. This guy has both businesses with China and the Department of Defense. Okay, so it's at least reasonable for us to guess that he has his own interests in mind. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And another thing that makes this more clear to me is that nowadays the only guys who talks about something in Brazil, it's the X profile, the institutional profile. So you know, Elon Musk himself is not saying too much stuff because let's be honest, he's already complying to all demands made from our Supreme Court. Okay, so he's already demanding. He already had Starlink's money confiscated. So it's not confiscated. The Brazilian Supreme Court stole Starlink's money. You know, Starlink is a company that's not related to X in any shape or form. And then Brazilian government says, "Oh, you don't have anything from X here, but you have from Starlink. Let's take it from Starlink." So they took 18 million reais from Starlink, and now that Elon Musk has basically complied to all demands from Minister Moraes, Moraes gave him another sentence that he has to pay 10 million reais and that his legal representative of X in Brazil, this woman has to pay from her pocket 300,000 reais. So this is basically $5,000, $50,000. I'm sorry, $50,000. You see, this is mind blowing. All right. So you got stolen by the Brazilian government, and instead you acted just like the Rumble guy. Hey, you want to know what, Brazil? Go after yourself, right? I'm not going to provide my service for you anymore. No, Elon Musk complied. All right, because this guy is building, and this is my opinion right now. Okay, this guy is building, in my opinion, the greatest honeypot of all humanity.
Yes,
you know.
Yeah.
I use Grok. I use Grok basically every day, you know, and it's mind blowing because before this interview, I just went into some Brazilian profiles that I know, and I search on Grok. Grok, please give me so and so using these profiles as example of Bolsonaro's betrayal about X and Y, and Grok just gave me a resume of everything these folks posts about those subjects. So they are Elon Musk is already giving this tool to commercial use, right? So what the hell did they did with that? before the commercial release. Because if we think about it, all the major technological advancements, they came from the military. You know, this is basic knowledge for at least our fathers, and our grandfathers. They all knew that. They all saw that. All the major technological advancements, they came from military research. All right. So what the hell these fuckers were doing with AI 10 years ago? Because this isn't news, This is not new. Like, oh, Chat GPT and blah blah blah. No, this is not new, my friend. This is just, you see, the marketers, they say with all hype that this is the future, but the mathematicians that programming this, almost all of them say it's a fraud. It's a fraud and it's data harvesting. It's just that, just another as a new way of data harvesting.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you see, my friend. Anyways, I went all in a tangent. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that was good. That was really good. No, don't apologize. That was awesome. Yeah, I think even he was so chairman of Tesla Motors, and apparently he's a new young global leader of the WEF. That's Elon Musk, and so he and I think in one of their documents they actually used as part of this network of digital identity, they have in the center of the circle they have entities, people, devices, things, and around the circle they have telecommunications, e-government, travel and mobility, humanitarian response, and they have social platforms as part of that diagram, and they've got the little Twitter bird. And this is coincidentally they use the former X logo, the little Twitter bird, as a part of this digital identity map that the WEF have included. So it's all very interesting, and he's definitely well connected. He's definitely in there with everybody, and apparently he's a young global leader, a new one. I don't know when this article it says
Gilbert.
Oh yeah.
Gilbert, excuse me to interrupt you, but you want to see something crazy,
Okay.
and I mean really crazy.
Mhm.
Just take Pol Pot's picture, the famous Pol Pot, the dictator,
Yeah.
portrait,
Yeah.
and just use Photoshop, with transparency in an Elon Musk photography, and you just overlap both of them. It's like it's the same fucking guy, okay? And I'm gonna tell you, okay? I'm gonna tell you, the only times I got in problem with social media, no, it's the other one when he got arrested. Like he got just let's search together,
Oh, this one.
okay? No,
Oh.
no, it's on the this row that you are. It's the third picture from the right.
Oh,
so we have on ID.
Yeah.
This one right here. Now search Elon Musk portrait, the one that he has in his book or something. It's a portrait in the same angle of this picture right here. And let me tell you, the only times I got in problem in social media where I got really banned, it was when I said during the pandemic, right? When I said anything of that subject, and when I said that Elon Musk is probably Pol Pot's child. And I saw that on 4chan, and I got banned in 15 minutes. So how the hell, my schizo sense was like, hey man, I'm into something. I know I'm into something, okay? Because there is another thing that adds to this theory that Elon Musk forbids anyone that is like him. Like, we have in Brazil, in Portuguese, we have a word for this. It's called a sósia. When someone is just like you, the person is not you, but it's just like you. I mean, physically,
Yeah.
And the first years of TikTok, we had the Chinese Elon Musk, and this guy was just like Elon Musk, and he got banned from the platform. So how the hell a guy who is from South Africa looks exactly like a guy from Asia, especially the Chinese, and some very specific regions of that people. You see, you can say the same thing of myself. For example, I am Brazilian, and when I was arrested as a black bloc, it was written in my police report. He's brown, 10 centimeters shorter that I really am, and has brown eyes. And literally, I am blonde. I am blonde, basically 5'11" or 5'12". I don't remember in English metrics, and blue eyes. So It's like not even this. He's not the same person. Come on, my friend. But I can pass by a Brazilian. Because anyone can pass by a Brazilian, even Elon Musk. Even yourselves. But Elon Musk and his mother has a lot of connections during Pol Pot's time, and she was traveling to the same place where Pol Pot was arrested or exiled, something like that. The same time, the same place, and then just right after the bitch got pregnant, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Madness, all right.
No, we really don't know. I mean, it's a completely different life with the Bill Gateses, the Bezoses, the Tedroses, the Schwabs. It's a complete. We don't see where they go, what they do. Who. I mean, we have, of course, Fidel Castro and Justin Trudeau. Okay, and they I believe they did actually visit at the time. I think there was. This is just going off raw memory. But I mean, off fumes. But like, it's like I think, I think there was some sort of correspondence there. A bit, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I mean, you just look at the similarities between Fidel and Trudeau, and it's like, man, something
mind blowing.
Yeah.
Just like in the screen, you see, I show you the Hector. I showed the picture that you are showing us on the screen to my barber, and my barber in his barber shop, he just said, "Yeah, man, I think you're right. I think he's his son because look at the forehead and the chin line." Okay, so I have a professional opinion, okay, on this. Imagine the conversations it happens in this barbershop, okay? So this was the most normal conversation we had right there, okay? But okay, enough of this tangent, all right? Let's go back to Brazil. I have some things to show you, and as I showed you already, the AI surveillance state we are right now. So anything you post on social media, any social media, it will be categorized and held in the database of the Supreme Court if you are quoting them or talking about them. But now I want to show you guys the Bolsonaro's nature, okay? And how is his level of rhetorics right now? Because as you saw, I'm sorry, on 2021, he was really brave and he was talking, hey, let's free the people.
Yeah.
And you all saw that, right? Now you're going to see the convocation that happened for this September 7th of this year. And this September 7th, just finishing my point, this September 7th was sold by all the big accounts in the world that, Brazilians are fighting for the freedom of expression and they are fighting for the impeachment of Moraes, right? And I don't know which video you are playing first, but I'm going to show you guys two things. One, Bolsonaro saying that he's not, please don't take any signs, don't bring any signs to the protests. So this is not about freedom of expression, right? You can say you are in favor of freedom of expression and just says, oh, please don't bring any signs. Like, what the hell is that? This is plainly contradictory, right? And the second one is that people lied at the big accounts. Oh, it's about the impeachment of Alexandre de Moraes. And then there is Bolsonaro convocating the people and say, this is not about Moraes impeachment. I don't want any impeachment. And Hector, please, I finished my point. You can play it right now.
All right, cool. I'll play this one right this second.
E a gente pede à população que se preserve. Vá de verde e amarelo. Não leve nenhum cartaz. Eu sei que você é consciente. O seu cartaz podia até ser uma boa mensagem. Mas vai ter gente infiltrada com um cartazinho lá de AI-5, de intervenção, ou xingando uma autoridade.
All right, the other one's downloading. Just give me a sec.
So you see, this is just mind-blowing. How can you say that? Oh, you can't bring any signs because someone else can bring a sign and it's going to be an evil sign and you are going to be the one to take the blame.
It's a weird thing to say, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very childish. It's like a high school,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a protest. People are going to bring signs. It's sort of silly. Like people.
Yeah, it's kind of like saying, "Let's go to the beer. Let's go to the bar and not drink beer." It's like it's weird. Yeah.
Gente, por aí que eu falo, não é o caso de impeachment. Os 11 ministros têm que se policiarem. Os 10 têm que chegar para esse e falar, não dá mais, chega, pô. Acabou tua cota, chega. Porque tá num ritmo de desconfiança enorme no Supremo Tribunal Federal. A gente não quer isso. A gente quer um Supremo vibrante, quer um Supremo que defenda a Constituição. Um Supremo que, quando o ministro compareça a um evento público qualquer, ele seja aplaudido. Isso que a gente quer. E não o contrário. O caminho que os poucos estão tomando no Supremo não é o caminho da pacificação, da democracia, do respeito entre os poderes, não é esse. Nós queremos paz, tranquilidade, ordem, progresso. Peço a Deus que toque o coração dos 11 ministros. E os 11 ministros busquem uma alternativa entre vocês. É humilhante falar em impeachment, sei disso. Caçar um ministro, isso não é bom.
Yeah, right.
It looks like he was nearly on the verge of tears. It's like he was about to cry when he was
Yeah.
saying that.
It's weird.
A coward, you know,
Mm.
and he has this tone, actor, with everyone nowadays. You know, he's always crying like, "Oh, I can't do nothing." You know, please, you got to understand, I can't do nothing. You know, but people say his supporters, but we have to elect him next time so he can do something. So like, what the hell? You know, he's stating that he can't do anything, and now we have to vote for him again, and he's not even able to be voted. Okay, Bolsonaro is ineligible, right? Because the Supreme Court, Moraes in the screen right here with him, Moraes simply decided, okay, Bolsonaro, just go rest, okay, retire, please. You know, I think Moraes, you know, sometimes in my schizo ramblings, I think maybe Moraes is the hero and I'm the wrong guy. Okay, so
Just because of how bad Bolsonaro was, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Let's be honest. If you had a guy in your team like Moraes, like, hey, let's steal the billionaire. Okay, the world's greatest billionaire, and everyone respects him. Steal from his companies. Oh, what does he did? Anything? Okay, steal from him again. All right, so and let's arrest all my opponents. You know, let's send the police to visit my opponents 5 a.m. in the morning. And this is like that, man. This guy, like, he's the beast, you know. If I were his ally, I would be like, man, you're the best, you know. Like, there are these memes, like, who is in your team when apocalypse or the zombie apocalypse happens? My friend Alexandre de Moraes, he's the first person on my team, you know. That guy, he will make this fucking, he will protect me, you know. I believe him. But if you are his opponent, my friend, you know, good luck. Because as you all saw in this video right now, that Bolsonaro is saying, oh, the other ministers, they have to go to him and say, enough, no more, please, let's stop this. And what's he saying? That you have to go to a person, to a judge, that is the head of an illegal investigation, that he himself committed a lot of public crimes. You know, people know that, hey, this is a crime. He can't do that, you know. He doesn't have the power to do this. This is a fucking crime. Oh, but no, the other ministers, they have to go to him and say, oh, just enough, you know, please calm down, okay. It's like you go to Charles Manson and you say, oh, please, enough murdering people. You already murdered enough people, okay? Just behave in your house now.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, okay?
How
How can you? It's Moraes is not his opponent, you know. It's like it's basically Moraes hates him. Okay, this is true, but it's not his opponent. All right, it's just a theater, you know. It's just a theater. What a mess! And I see so many parallels with Trump that it's just sad, you know. It's just sad. And then we have, and now you all saw that, and now let's please, and I'm not calling for us to end this, but let's wrap. This is the last video, and we're gonna see right now Bolsonaro's behavior in this protest. So he was he was basically calling people to this protest this year, September 7th, and we're gonna see a video right now of him in these protests calling for sabotage of another car. So you all saw how his rhetoric is with his opponents. Oh, please, no more. Have some mercy. Now watch it. Please watch it. How he speaks with his allies, because he's directing himself to his allies. He confuted in that video of September 7th that I'm about to show you. he confounded himself, like he mistaken himself as he thought that another guy was making a mess. But it was his allies from the other car that were doing all that noise. And he just thought it was another guy. And just see him, like, just see the real Bolsonaro, okay? It's on screen right now.
Okay, let's watch.
Se for possível parar a extinção, a gente agradece. Ou então peço para alguém sabotar. Arranca o cabo da bateria desse carro. Se esse picareta quer fazer um evento, anuncie, convoque o povo e faça. Não atrapalhe pessoas que estão lutando por algo muito sério no nosso país. Eu peço, desculpa aqui, eu não sou governador, mas que a PM arranque o cabo da bateria desse carro. Essa é uma atitude de canalha, vagabundo, que não tem compromisso com o seu país. Quer fazer política? Vá fazer em outro lugar.
It's just bizarre. Yeah, it's just bizarre. I've never seen someone get so angry about a car revving its like engine.
And it's a protest. It's a protest. You know, it's a protest.
And it's
in the middle of
noisy, yeah.
Paulista. You know, it's noisy. It's a protest. You know, the other car will make noise, and Bolsonaro, no, sabotage the other car. Police go there and sabotage the other car. Oh, that's very funny to say, former president, because why didn't you ask for the police to fucking arrest the criminals that committed crimes against your family, that tried to kill you, you know, that arrested your allies? No, you never did that. You always, oh, let's pacify. Oh, let no mercy, please. Oh, now arrest my ally.
Yeah. All right. All right. I think we're going to have to start wrapping up. We've been going for over 2 hours, so it's been a good show.
Yeah. No, it's enough for me. You know, I talked enough. Your audience probably is hating me right now. Like, hey, Victor talks too much. This motherfucker. Shut up.
No. I think we all thoroughly enjoyed that. That was amazing because we're so used to, we were so used in the Western media, I guess, in the Anglosphere, I guess, to seeing Bolsonaro, and we're so used to seeing, actually, even in the dissident, the so-called alt media, Alex Jones. Even Alex Jones says like, "Oh, Bolsonaro, you know, he's the Brazilian Trump. You know, he's a real."
Well, he sort of is, but probably not in a good way. Like,
yeah, well, like he's not like even Trump is like, despite all his faults that we're aware of. I mean, at least he got like he did do some things. I won't. I'll just say that. But yeah, but like it's like all. It seems like from what you're telling us, Victor, like this is all the very worst traits of Trump, like multiplied by times 20 or something. And it's just like as I was saying, you know, we're so used to like in the media and especially the old media, you know, everybody's saying like, oh, the Brazilian Trump, look how awesome he is, he's such a fighter and stuff. And now after seeing this, it's like so clear. It's like, wow, this guy's like
an absolute coward, like
scaredy cat. Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, I'm just so grateful that you came, you know, spend some time with us today to just reveal this to us, because you know this pattern is just oft repeated in this modern day. You know, we see it everywhere. We see it everywhere. The same sort of show or the same sort of narrative just repeat all over the show, and it's always got, you know, the CCP and foreign intelligence agencies behind them, and you know, the WEF, the UN, Davos, the UN, you know, all these, you know, communist internationalists, you know, globalist institutions, all directed to taking the rights and freedoms and protections of, you know, people in the West, nationalists in the West who really care about their country, and you know, even nationalists in Brazil, taking their interests and taking their sovereignty and taking their freedoms and just ripping it away from them. I mean, this is what is going on, people, and this is what, you know, a lot of these alt media people that I see, that, you know, they will not tell you this. They will not tell you this, and Victor has just, you know, very eloquently just you know, shown us, you know, how clear as day from the Brazilian perspective, you know, that it's no different in Brazil, and as a geostrategic, you know, country, you know, that border, that's, you know, on the I guess loosely connected to America. I mean, it's we heard the general before say oh, we can't do anything without China. We
Well,
we need
Brazil's like a big country. It's got a big
Mm.
agricultural base. It's got an industrial base.
Mm.
It's fairly
Mm.
well educated. It's got 200 million, over 200 million people living there. It's a huge country. So
Yeah, well, it's like I prefer we have Brazil actually on our side, on the Western Empire, insofar as that it is actually we are actually controlled by the West, which is of course what we're doing here. We're trying to say that the West is deeply infiltrated, and to everybody listening to this, wherever you are, it is your duty to listen to these broadcasts and try and speak the word to your friends, your families, and try and encourage not only yourself but other people to get involved in some way in your country, whether it be in business and in politics, joining a political party or making political connections, and or being a lawyer, like the Weintraubs, or being involved in intelligence yourself, being an intelligence analyst, and so we can really get our feelers as true, authentic nationalists of our countries, of the West or wherever we are, to begin to turn things back, and we can only win if we take these this upon ourselves, and so that's really what we have to do, people, and become influencers as well. But the message of the show will always be the same, my friends, so I'll just say that. Okay, so
yeah,
perhaps
I just have one thing to
yeah.
add. In chat, we've got a man called Mountain Man Speaks. He says, "Tell Victor I said hi." So Mountain Man Speaks says hi to you,
Yeah,
Victor.
Mr. Mountain Man.
Who's that? Who's Mr.
I love
Mountain?
him. That's the best,
Does he live on a mountain, or is he a mountain man?
Yeah,
I
does he
don't
live in
know,
a
but
cabin
he's
or
a
something?
mountain man.
Yeah.
We made a video call one day, and he is exactly like a mountain man. Okay, it's a mountain man. Okay,
yeah. Got it.
He's
Okay.
the best.
All right. Well,
All right.
on that note, yeah, thanks for joining us, Victor. It's been good talking to you for the last 2 hours.
Thank you,
yeah.
Hector. Thank you,
Been
Gilbert. Wow, this was awesome, guys. Yes, it was a great honor for me to be invited, and I'm really happy and satisfied with this podcast. And I hope to be invited again someday
Oh,
if you
absolutely.
like it.
Yeah, we could do
100%.
Brazilian. Then there's the next Brazilian election or something. We can have you on, or the lead up to it, whatever's going on there. All right.
Very nice.
All right. Thanks for everyone for watching, and thanks for everyone for tuning in. Thanks to everyone watching the replay as well. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you have a great Sunday. And as you always do, stay blessed and not stressed. We'll catch you guys. Well, not next week, actually. I'm taking a break next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. So have a great week and have a great next week. Stay blessed, not stressed. See you next time.
Follow us on X, Twitter, and YouTube, and all the links. Follow Victor on X and his YouTube channel. And yeah, stay blessed, not stressed. Goodbye, everybody.